Hello everybody. Today I'm going to show you how to create your name design print using tall skinny letters and lines and patterns. So here I have an example of an artist. Her name is Allie and she drew her letter A tall and skinny and it touches the bottom and the top of the page. And she has her L from top to bottom, another L from top to bottom, and her Y. The idea of this project is to create tall, skinny letters from top to bottom, and the positive space is going to be your letters. The negative space, the space behind your letters, is called the negative space. You're going to then take the negative space and draw lines like Allie did to create big shapes. Then within the big shapes, you're going to break it down and make smaller shapes or patterns and lines within those shapes that you just made. I will give you this handout. This is your inspirational handout where you can get lots of ideas on how to fill in those big spaces. Here's another example of another artist named Lisandra. And Lisandra has lots of letters in her name. So she was able to fit them all in only because she drew really tall and skinny letters. So once you've drawn your letters, you're going to then have to think about dividing your space and creating the shapes in the background. So I'm going to draw my name so you can see how I do it. So like you all know, my name is Miss Sedang Yo, and I'm going to fill in this whole page with my name. You're going to get a colored paper like this, but I'm just going to show you in my art journal. So I'm going to start up here, and I'm going to go a really tall, skinny C. If I want to make it thicker, kind of like a bubble letter, all you have to do is go and double it up and draw another C and close it off. Then I'm going to draw my E. Now I'm thinking as I'm looking at this, I have C, E, D, E, N, O. You want to plan ahead and use your fingers to kind of scale the size of your letters. I think if I write my E inside my C, it's going to help me fit all my letters across. So I'm going to put my E inside of here. Even though it's not tall, but it kind of works. Remember, you're the artist. You can take your creative license and design the page so it works, or the idea. So now I need a D. This D is going to be tall and skinny. I'm going to go ahead and double up. Make it kind of fat so I can color it in later with some pretty colors. And now I'm going to do another E. And go in and double it up. And now my N, I want to make a nice, tall, skinny N, just so it fills some space on the top. I'm going to come around, come back around to fill in my N. And now my O is going to be tall and skinny. And I made it fit. Now because I drew lightly, and that's one of the biggest rules, is draw light until you got it right. That way, you can always erase it if you need to. And I can always go back in and curve that over and erase that top part if I didn't like it. So now I'm going to go in and take the negative space, which is the space behind my letters. My letters are the positive space. The space around it is the negative. And I'm going to go draw some lines and close off some shapes so that I can fill in with some pattern later. So I have one shape here, two shapes. This is another shape. And there, this is another shape. I'm going to close this off here so that all of this is another shape. I'm going to close this off here. Close that there. Maybe I'm just going to close this off like this and like this. And maybe I'll just close this off like that. So now I have these bigger shapes in my background. And I'm going to look at my handout to get ideas on where to fill in these patterns. Where can I put them? How do I want to design this? I really like these little curvy shapes. And I'm going to put those curvy shapes inside my D. So I'm going to go in and lightly start to think about how to fill them in. And there it goes. I'm filling in a pattern inside. So once I have all my negative space filled in, then you're going to color each space a different color using markers or color pencils. And when you color in your artwork, you want to color in using good craftsmanship. And I have this poster on the wall so you can always look at it to remember. When we color in using markers or color pencils or crayons, we want to push our craftsmanship, which is how well you do something, so that it looks at a level 3 or a level 4. That way your colors are nice and solid. There's no white space. It doesn't look like a scribble scrabble. It looks like a solid value of color. So I want to push you guys to be at a level 3 or 4 this year so that your art looks nice and bold and contrast and colorful. So I'm going to show you how I do that. I'm going to color in my D with a color pencil so that you can see how to shade this in nicely. And you can create value too with the color pencil. Value is dark to light. And I'm going to shade this in. It's actually like a purple color pencil actually. And I'm going to press down kind of medium. And then as I go down the D, I'm going to press down harder. And you see how I'm filling it in nice and evenly. And I'm staying inside my line. I'm going slowly. I do not want to see this, because that looks sloppy and that looks like a level 1. I want you to go at a level 3 or 4. So I'm going to slowly take my color pencil and move it down my shape and press down to create value and fill it in nicely. And when you also think about your color, you want to have a color theme. You want to think about, I'm going to do this letter in purple. Maybe I do the background in yellow. Think about colors before you start. It always makes your work stronger if you know where you're going. Let me go in and fix this over here. I'm pressing down hard so I can cover up those sloppy lines. See how we can still fix our work? Even if we mess up, we can always overlap it. So I'm going to go in and shade that with color pencil. Also, what you can do to your art for your name design is you can go and trace your letter with a marker. Slow and steady, go over your line and trace it. And that way you can always go, and then you can go back in and fill it in with your color pencil. You can also trace your patterns with a Sharpie if you want. You can do a Sharpie on the inside to make things pop out. You're the artist. I will let you decide on what colors and what patterns you want, but I do want you to work on your craftsmanship, on coloring in nicely and staying inside the lines and filling it into a solid 4. So that is my quick demo, and I hope you enjoy this project. I will be walking around. If you have any questions, raise your hand and I will come to you. Also, if you need help writing your name with tall, skinny letters, because remember, we need tall, skinny letters to fill it in, to fill the page and create those negative shapes in the background, like these artists did here. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll be walking around. Thank you.